Hello viewers, how are you? Hope you are fine. Welcome back to my channel Drawing Time with Story. If you are new in my channel, I will introduce myself and my channel with you. I am Suraya Parveen, and in my channel I select an object or a theme to draw, and while drawing you will not get bored. I will gossip with you, I will tell you a story, or we will share our personal life experiences related to the topic. So, as you saw, my today's theme is moonlit night, and now I will tell you a story that is a fairy tale stories for kids, but it's great to listen to a story. It's a great thing always. So let's jump to the story time. So our today's story's name is Sunlight and Moonlight. Long years ago, there lived in a distant land a handsome prince named Sunlight. Sunlight lived in a splendid palace with his father, the ruler of the land, who was called in those days a Khan. Sunlight's mother had died when he was a baby, and when he was a young boy, his father married again. So Sunlight also lived with his stepmother, the queen, along with her son, a lad named Moonlight. Sunlight's father and his stepbrother, Moonlight, loved him dearly. But his stepmother hated him with a passion. She desperately wanted her own son, Moonlight, to be the one to inherit the throne. So, while the two boys lived happily together, never suspecting evil, this wicked woman plotted and schemed to somehow be rid of Sunlight forever. At last, one day, she thought of a plan. Going to her room, she lay down, groaning and crying out as if she were sick and in frightful pain. The Khan was soon notified and was much alarmed when he found the queen in such a bad way. "My dear wife," he cried, "I will have the court doctor summoned at once." "No," said the queen feebly, "it will do no good. Already I am near death, and none can help me. I am dying, my Khan. I know that I am dying fast, and the one and only cure for my sickness, alas, I can never have." "One cure?" said the king. "If there is anything on earth which will help you, my dear, surely you shall have it. Only tell me what it is, so I may get it for you at once." She groaned again. She this time gasping for breath. She was acting so hard to convince her husband. "It is more than your kingdom. It is of such a nature that I dare not speak of it." Then she writhed and shuddered as if in worse pain than ever, and the Khan was beside himself to see her suffering so. "Tell me, my love, tell me," he begged. "No matter what it is, you shall have it. You have my promise." "It is your son," whispered the wicked woman. "Sunlight has worked an evil charm upon me. I shall die this very night if I don't drink the blood from his heart." The Khan shrank in horror. He loved his eldest child, Sunlight, more than life itself, and to kill him would be impossible. Nevertheless, something must be done quickly. The queen, he thought to himself, is mad. She must be humoured, and I have already given my kingly word which must not be broken. I will have a goat killed instead, and its hers given to her. When she is well again, she will be as glad as I that I deceived her in this way. So he drew her near the queen and spoke reassuringly to her. My love, your life is more precious to me than that of many sons. You shall have the heart's blood of sunlight this very night without fail. Meanwhile, try to sleep. As he turned to the door, he met the queen's son Moonlight coming in. One look at the lad's face told the count that his last terrible words had been overheard. I must explain my plan to the lad, he thought. But at that moment a messenger came to him bearing important news, and he straightway forgot all about the boy. Moonlight, however, was like one struck dumb with surprise and fear. He had indeed heard part of the conversation between the Khan and his mother, the queen, for the two had been talking loudly as he approached their door. He thought, of course, that his brother was in deadly peril. As soon as he had recovered from the shock of his discovery, he ran to find Sunlight and poured the whole story into his ears. Sunlight was more grieved to hear that his own father would be willing to kill him than he was worried about his own life. But there was no time to weep, for he must leave the palace at once and be far away in some safe hiding place by nightfall. I will go with you, declared Moonlight. No, said Sunlight with a grateful smile. I don't know what dangers I may meet. You must not think of it. Indeed, yes, cried Moonlight. What will home be without you, my dear brother? Your life shall be my life, whatever and wherever it takes us. There was no talking him out of it. So, in a very short time, the two lads had slipped quietly and secretly from the palace and were out in the wide world. All that day they walked, and the next, sleeping at night wherever they could find shelter. On the third day they came into a dry, huge desert, with no sign of human life to be seen anywhere, and nothing that could provide water or food. At last, exhausted, Moonlight stumbled and fell on the sand. Alas, dear brother, he said, I cannot go any further. Bid me farewell and go on. There is no need for both us to die. Sunlight did not try to argue with his brother, but made him as comfortable as the hot desert would allow, and bade him to be of good cheer and wait for his return, for he would surely find and bring back help. Then he began looking this way and that for some sign of a spring or a water hole in the desert. At last his eye was caught by a bright red something on the side of a rocky cliff not far away. He quickened his step to see what it might be, and found that it was a great red door set step into the face of the rock. He rapped upon the door, and soon it was opened by a kindly looking old man. Sunlight was so relieved to see another human being he could have kissed the old man's long, flowing beard. Quickly he told his story and begged the old man to help Moonlight. The hermit lost no time in walking with Sunlight back to where his brother lay. Together the two of them carried Moonlight back to the hermit's cave, where the old man used all of his skill to care for the exhausted boy until he was fully recovered. So the two lads started a new life with the old hermit. Indeed, he soon declared that he could not find them any more if they had seen his own sons. So the weeks and the months passed, and the three of them lived happily together in their cave behind the red door in the desert. It so happened that the biggest Khan of them all, that is, the ruler over the entire country, was a wicked, ill-tempered, suspicious man. Above all else, this Khan hated and feared strangers, because it had been foretold that one day he would lose his throne and crown to some lad from a strange land. And so he had made a law that any young man who entered his kingdom from another country would be seized at once by his soldiers and cast into a cave to be devoured by three fierce demon bears. At last, in some mysterious way, the Khan learned of two lads living with the hermit in his cave behind the red door in the cliff. He sent his soldiers at once to fetch them. The old man noticed the Khan's soldiers coming across the desert and at once guessed why they were there. While the men were still far off, he ran quickly to the two boys and asked them to hide. Sunlight climbed into a barrel of mangoes, crouching down until they covered him, and Moonlight hid in a sack of grain. When the soldiers pounded on the red door, the hermit allowed the soldiers to enter. "Boys," he said, in answer to their question, "I have no sons. I am an old man and have lived in this desert many a long year without wife or child to bear me company. You must be mistaken." The soldiers roughly pushed the hermit. "You had better not lie to the Khan's soldiers," the captain threatened. "I have told you no lie," replied the hermit, "but if you doubt my word, come in and see for yourselves." With a growl and an oath, the captain seized the hermit by his long white beard and shook him. "So you thought it would give us the trouble of searching?" said he. "We'll do no such thing. I know there is a boy here, and my orders are to fetch him. So bring him out at once and hurry up with it." He raised his sword over the hermit's head, but before he could swing it down, Sunlight leaped out from his hiding place and caught hold of the captain's arm. "Oh," said the captain to the lad, "so you are here after all?" The soldiers gathered around Sunlight, bound his hands behind his back, flung him on a horse, and without giving him a moment to bid farewell to the grief-stricken old hermit, rode away. Not until the captain had gone far over the desert on their way to the Khan's palace did he remember that he had been told there were two boys living with the hermit. He stopped abruptly, wheeled his horse around, and gave orders that the troop should return at once to the old man's cave. Sunlight guessed what was in the captain's mind, and his heart sank. So what will happen to Moonlight? I will tell you. It may be say that it is part 2 is coming soon with a brand new drawing and the left of the story. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel to stay connected with me, to listen to the rest part of the story. Till then, stay stay with me, stay with Drawing Time with the Story. If you have any question or request, please let me know in my comment section. My comment section is always free for you. So see you soon with a new drawing and the next part of the story. Till then, bye.